Hey everyone, Today we're diving deep into one of the toughest and most important questions out there. Does a loving God really allow suffering? This is a question that has challenged people for centuries, and the Bible doesn't shy away from it. For example, Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him." And in Psalm 34:18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Maybe it's something you're struggling with right now. The existence of suffering can feel like it contradicts the idea of a loving God. If God is all-powerful and all-loving, why do bad things happen to good people? The Bible itself wrestles with this question. In the book of Job, Job cries out, "Why do the wicked live on, growing old and increasing in power?" Job 21:7. And in Romans 8:18, Paul writes, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." These are real, raw questions, and you're not alone in asking them. Even the Bible acknowledges the paradox of suffering. Let's look at a few perspectives, and I'll share some Bible verses along the way to help us wrestle with this together. For example, Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him." Yet, in the book of Job, we see a man who suffers deeply without clear answers. Job 1:21 says, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." And in Psalm 34:18 we're told, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." These verses show us that the Bible offers different viewpoints on suffering, inviting us to explore and reflect together. One way to approach this age-old dilemma is by considering the profound role of free will in our lives. Free will is the ability to make choices that are not predetermined, to act according to our own desires and convictions. It is a gift that shapes our experiences, our relationships, and even our understanding of suffering and joy. When we look at the world around us, we see countless examples of people making decisions, some wise, some unwise, but all uniquely their own. This freedom to choose is at the very heart of what it means to be human. The Bible addresses this concept directly. In Deuteronomy 30:19, God says, "This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live." This passage is a powerful reminder that God presents us with real choices, and those choices carry real consequences. The invitation is not just to exist, but to actively participate in shaping our destiny, to weigh our options, and to decide which path we will follow. The call to choose life is more than just a command. It is an invitation to embrace the fullness of life, to make choices that foster growth, love, and well-being for ourselves and for future generations. Our decisions ripple outward, affecting not only our own lives, but also the lives of those we care about most. God gives us the freedom to choose, and with that freedom comes the possibility of making choices that lead to suffering, for ourselves and for others. Galatians 5:13 reminds us, "You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love." This is a sobering reality, but it is also what makes our choices meaningful. If we were only capable of doing good, or if our actions were predetermined, then love, kindness, and sacrifice would lose their significance. The very possibility of choosing wrongly is what gives weight to choosing rightly. Our freedom means we can hurt, but it also means we can heal, forgive, and grow. Love that is forced isn't really love at all, and God's love gives us the dignity of choice. By allowing us to decide for ourselves, God invites us into a relationship that is genuine and heartfelt. Our ability to choose, to love, to forgive, to seek justice, or to show compassion reflects the very image of God within us. In the end, free will is both a gift and a responsibility, calling us to live thoughtfully, to choose wisely, and to embrace the journey of life with courage and hope. But doesn't a loving God have the power to prevent suffering? The Bible shows us that God is not distant from our pain. In fact, Psalm 34 verse 18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." And in Isaiah 41 verse 10, God reassures us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." God doesn't always prevent suffering, but He promises to be with us in it, offering comfort and strength. Sometimes our deepest growth and empathy come from walking through hard times, knowing that God's presence never leaves us. Some perspectives suggest that suffering can lead to growth. In Romans chapter 5, verses 3 and 4, Paul writes, "We also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Similarly, James 1, 2, 4 encourages us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Pain can shape us, deepen our compassion, and help us connect with others in meaningful ways. It's not that suffering is good, but that God can bring good out of it. Sometimes we just don't have all the answers. Life is full of moments that leave us puzzled, searching for meaning, and wondering why things happen the way they do. We might find ourselves asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Or, "What is the purpose behind this struggle?" In these moments, it's natural to feel uncertain or even frustrated, especially when we long for clarity and understanding. The Bible speaks directly to this mystery. In Isaiah 55, 8, 9, God says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways, my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." This passage reminds us that God's perspective is so much greater than our own. When we read these words, we're invited to step back and realize that there is a bigger picture, one that we may not be able to see from where we stand. Sometimes the path we walk is winding and unclear, and the reasons for our hardships remain hidden. But even in those times, we are not alone. We have each other to lean on, and we have the assurance that God is with us, guiding us through every season. Romans 11:33 echoes this truth. "Oh, the depth of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable are his judgments, and how inscrutable his ways. Just as the vastness of the night sky stretches far beyond what we can comprehend, so too does God's wisdom surpass our own." There is a beauty in recognizing that we don't have to have it all figured out, because we are held by a love and understanding that is infinitely greater than ours. In times of confusion or pain, we can find comfort in the embrace of those who care for us, and in the knowledge that God's ways, though mysterious, are always rooted in love. We may not always see the reasons behind our circumstances, but we can trust that there is a purpose, even if it's hidden from us for now. It's okay to wrestle with these questions, to sit in the tension of not knowing, and to bring our doubts and fears before God. Journaling, praying, or simply reflecting can help us process our feelings and remind us that uncertainty is a part of the journey of faith. It's okay to wrestle with these questions and to not have everything figured out. Sometimes, the most honest thing we can do is admit that we don't understand, and allow ourselves to be comforted by others and by God's presence. We grow stronger when we share our uncertainties with trusted friends, and when we support each other through life's mysteries. Community can be a powerful reminder that we are not alone in our questions or our struggles. Faith often means trusting God even when we don't understand. As Romans 11:33 reminds us, God's ways are unsearchable and his wisdom is deep beyond measure. It's about holding on to hope, believing that there is meaning beyond what we can see, and choosing to trust that God's love is guiding us, even through the unknown. So, does a loving God really allow suffering? This is a question that has echoed through the ages, touching the hearts and minds of countless people from all walks of life. Whether you're someone who has faced deep personal loss, or you've simply wondered about the pain you see in the world, it's a question that can feel overwhelming and at times unanswerable. But maybe the journey isn't about finding a perfect answer. Maybe it's not about simple answers, but about learning to trust, to grow, and to walk through the hard moments together. When we face suffering, we're often invited to lean on each other, to offer support, and to receive comfort. In these moments, we discover the strength of community and the power of compassion. We learn that even when life is painful, we can find hope in the kindness of others and in the small acts of love that surround us. And to love more deeply, even in the midst of pain. Sometimes, suffering opens our hearts in ways we never expected. It can teach us empathy, patience, and a deeper appreciation for the moments of joy and connection we experience. Through our struggles, we may find a renewed sense of purpose and a greater capacity to care for others who are hurting. If you've been struggling with this question, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your story matters, and your perspective could be just what someone else needs to hear today. Let's create a space where we can share honestly, support one another, and remind each other that we're not alone in our questions or our pain. As we reflect on these questions, I want to share a few words of comfort from the Bible. In Matthew 11:28-30, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." And in Revelation 21:4, we are given this promise. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. If you want to explore more, check out my other video on finding purpose in pain. In that video, we dive deeper into how our struggles can shape us and how we can find meaning even in the hardest seasons of life. Whether you're searching for answers or just looking for encouragement, I hope you'll join me there. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, you're not alone. No matter where you are or what you're facing, there is hope, and there are people who care. Together, we can find light in the darkness and strengthen each other. Until next time, take care of yourself and those around you.